Hi, everybody. It's Dana of the Canine Coach Carolinas and the Well-Oiled Canine. I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes telling you about a few common mistakes that people will make when they begin using their essential oils. Number one, store them upright. Many people will make the mistake of putting them in a basket or in a drawer, and we want to make sure that they are upright in a vertical position most of the time. Certainly, if you're traveling, they may get a little sideways. But for general storage, they need to be vertical, upright, and out of direct sunshine. Which leads me to number two. Don't keep them in your car. When essential oils get hot, when they're heated, the integrity of those oils will be diminished. So don't keep them in the car and don't keep them in direct sunlight. Number three, don't touch the orifice where the little dropper is. It can cause contaminants from your hand and skin to get back down into the bottle, which could mean your oils diminish their quality much sooner. Most oils don't expire, but certainly if we're adding contaminants back down into the bottle, then we are putting those oils at risk of not being their most effective. Be careful with tightening the caps. We want it to be firm. We want a good tight cap, but I don't want you to over tighten it. Over tightening it may make the cap break, and then that would be a real problem because now you don't have a lid for your essential oils. And being too loose may mean that the oils will start to basically evaporate into the air. So our oils are volatile little components that are seeking ways out into the air, and we want to keep that lid nice and tight, but not too tight, so that the oils and their benefits are staying in the bottle until we need them. Many people will put too many drops in their diffuser. Some people don't put enough. Generally speaking, you want 1 to 3 drops per hour of use for the diffuser. Not how many hours you're going to diffuse, but how many hours that diffuser would diffuse. And so think about that. If you're filling up the reservoir, is that a 24-hour diffuser, right? Then you can add a lot more drops. If it is a diffuser that is really only about 4 hours or 8 hours, then you wouldn't want as many drops going into that. So not how many will you actually have it turned on for, but how many does that container hold relative to the water in the reservoir, okay? People get afraid of using them, right? People are like, I don't know what to do with these things. That was me. My kit, it took me a long time to actually buy my kit, and then it sat in the box for probably a year before I pulled it out and decided I was going to experiment with these things. So people get really like, I don't know what to do with this, so they do nothing. So if you're one of those people, pull them out, open one a day, start to smell it, see how that responds with you, right? See how that resonates with you. Put a drop on your foot, right? See what that feels like. Diffuse a couple of drops, see what that feels like. If you're limiting yourself to a drop here and there and sort of random, you are not going to experience the full benefit of these essential oils. So you kind of need a little plan, right? You need to go, all right, what is this oil all about? How can I use it? And let me try it in those ways. It might be a topical approach. It might be a aromatic approach where you diffuse it, or maybe you just sit with the bottle and inhale that, or put a drop on your hand and inhale that way. Or maybe you follow the French aromatherapy model along with vitality oils from Young Living, and you actually start to ingest them. So try it. Just try a drop of lemon in your drinking water for the day and see what that feels like. Do it for a few days and see if that starts to help you go, I'm starting to feel better, or what experiences you might have with that. Remember, when you put the oil in your water, each time sort of swirl it around a little bit so it gets distributed in that water and you're not just drinking the drop of essential oil. Many people try to make blends of blends, meaning they'll take a blend like Stress Away and a blend like Peace and Calming or Believe or Transform or Harmony or Hope, any blends, right? And then they try to marry them together. And you might wind up with something that is the equivalent of broccoli soup and onion soup put in the same bowl, right? It's not going to necessarily be enjoyable. And it may not have the therapeutic effect that you were hoping for, right? So the blends of essential oils that are with Young Living, and Young Living is probably has the most blends of any company that I know of. Use those. You might add a single oil to that blend if you want to boost it or change it just a little bit. But making blends of blends is probably not going to be something that you love to do. Certainly taking a couple of singles, like 2 or 3 different single oils and starting to create recipes that you like can be beneficial. We will talk more about recipes and blending things later, but for now, suffice it to say, don't blend blends with other blends. Get yourself a start or a resource, right? Get yourself a guide. Get yourself a reference guide. I can help you with some of the ones that I find to be the best quality, the best information, and the most accurate information. There's a lot of books out on Amazon or wherever you buy your books from, and I have bought a lot. And many of them just are not helpful. They're so basic and so fundamental, and somebody wanted to write a book and have their name on it, and it's not going to be the guide that really helps you start to embrace and use your oils in the most productive way. Don't let the guides overwhelm you. When I bought my first reference guide, I panicked a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do with all of this? And thinking that, when it would list a number of oils, that I needed them all, that I needed all of them. And that's just not the case. You can leverage based on the oil that speaks to your heart or your spirit about what you're trying to work on. And you'll start to see where certain oils are beneficial for multiple categories of things, and that may influence you to go down one path or the other with those. But a reference guide, once you really start to leverage that and understand it, and to have more than 1 or 2 oils, is going to be super helpful. Don't think of essential oils as something that you keep in the medicine cabinet and go get only when you need it. Certainly there are oils that we pull out on an as-needed basis, right? If you've got an insect bite, or you've scraped your knee, or you're starting to feel seasonal congestion or seasonal sneezing or any of those kinds of things, and yeah, we can pull those things out on an as-needed basis. But for the most benefit of putting essential oils into your wellness plan or the wellness plan for your animals, you need some sustainability to that. You need things that basically go in daily, right? Not everything needs to be used every single day, but something needs to be used. And you start really working on a strategy of wellness and putting things into your diet or into your diffuser, or applying them topically, layering them into your skincare regimen. There are a number of ways to start getting essential oils into and onto your person and to your family, and to really start influencing the way the body responds to that. Generally speaking, most people, most oily people, you know, are now using anywhere from 12 to 15 drops of something every day. Let's see. I think that's it. I think that's all that I wanted to share with you today. So I started out going to call that a top 10. It wound up into just a little conversation, but I hope you find those helpful as things to consider as you begin your journey with essential oils, and some mistakes to avoid. Have a great day.